Glenda Fadzai Takachicha. Right now on Capital 100.4 FM.
Let's link up with the Grandmaster Coach during his year. Tichazoramba chinra nema shout outs so kuti tasvika pachirongwa chedu chiya tichabatsira vari kupinda muwanano, tichabatsira vari kuti bodo zviwanano izvi zvazvimwe tigobatsira zvakare vari muwanano. Asi usiku wanhasi, what we want to question really is what some people are saying is an outdated institution, this thing called marriage. Question we ask, is there any truth to it? Do share your thoughts on 0719 100 404, 0719 100 404. I think the institution of marriage has been around for a very long time. As a result, it's seeped into the fabric of society and created a natural expectation that everybody should get married, which has resulted in pressure really by society that everyone should get married. Marriage, I think, done right and for the right reasons, the fighting chances seem to be higher. However, not really an easy affair. Of late, I think we've seen the increase in divorce cases at alarming levels, and then we have others who have opted for alternative forms of commitment. Does this suggest that marriage isn't working? Is marriage an outdated institution? As usual, we have Grandmaster Coach Shuri to help us navigate this one. He is a relationship expert. Doc, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, a very good evening. We want to thank our listeners as well, and of course, a very wonderful evening to them as well.
Always good to have you on the show. Maybe titangire pakuti tidefine kuti chinombonzi successful marriage chi, coach.
Glenda, I like this topic. I think tirokuda kutsvagiridza pfungwa dzevanhu tichikuda ngotaura tinzwanane kuti tichiri pamwe chete here. Asi chekutanga chandoda ngotaura ndechekuti yes, let's look at the definition of a marriage, and we are saying that the two people, a union is when people, when the two things become one. So that's what a union is. And we are saying this is a union of two committed people who are ready to live a life together, and they are committed to growing and developing one another. So that's basically the definition that we are using, the working definition. But I also want to say, Glenda, that now when we talk of a healthy relationship, now a healthy marriage, so to say, we are looking at, number one, there is open communication. People communicate. You are not afraid to be vulnerable. You communicate openly. There's transparency is a characteristic of a healthy marriage. You also realize that the marriage is actually founded on trust. So the grounding really is on trust. That's the third thing. The fourth thing, Glenda, you also have mutual respect. The way we relate to one another, we speak with respect, we share, we talk. Unotonzwa mashoko anoshandiswa kuti anokushowa kuti vanhu vanorespectana. Ndozoda kuti nini chimwe chiri important ipapo ndechekuti vanhu vane yatinoti emotional connection. Kana chiti emotional connection, Glenda, ndo chinhu chinozolida kune something that we're calling of late where you actually yearn for another person, where you become we're talking about fondness, where you are fond. You know, just one day you are missing your partner because there is an emotional connection to it. So it's also important. Issues, the intimacy, Glenda, as the shaik, it's very important as well. And remember, physical, sexual intimacy, very important, but intimacy means you are close. That's what it means. So we need also to ensure that these things are there, and of course high levels of emotional intelligence in the union. We seek all the time to transform the conflict that is there. We seek all the time to find resolution to the differences that we have. And of course, Glenda, I've always said that it's a mandatory tool for a healthy marriage. Forgiveness, because human beings are naturally infallible, will make mistakes, and when I do, there is need for the other part to extend a gesture of forgiveness. So basically those are the things that will define what we call a healthy marriage.
But some would say that this concept, Coach, has evolved over time.
Yes.
What's your take on that?
Glenda, I will say a big yes to that. So when we say that is outdated, we are saying, is marriage outdated? I would want to say that chekutanga changa chichiitika tisiri kunyatsoongorora tisiri kunyatsozikano inyaya yekuti marriage concept phenomenon the practice of marriage, it has been evolving over time. That is very true. And what do we see? We see now that the expectations in the marriage, the processes really of going through marriage zvatosiyana. Isusu taiziva paine 4 areas dzaunofanira kutanga waita. Kutanga wadanana nemusikana wacho, obva wabvumwa iwewe, obva waenda kwatete wacho, mobva magashirwa, obva waenda kuvabereki wacho, obhadhira mari, and then obva waita muchato. Ndo zvataiziva zvichinzi mwana wepanhingi aroorwa. They had to follow those particular 4 steps. But of course, of late, we have been seeing that the processes were being we're shifting here and there. Marriage yaka evolve, that is true. But now takuzoda kuzotarisa kuti kuevolva kwacho kwakuda kusvika kuya Glenda kwatakuti is it really as important as it was? Is it really something that the generations of today really value and so on? But I see kuti my generations is yes, akuita kunga marriage is really important. But it's not their challenges aripo. Ndoda ngotaura ndichiti chimwe chekutanga chiripo Glenda, why maybe we see this is that role models apasina ma role models.
All right, kana mchiti akuchisina ma role models munorevei, Coach? So kuti we learn from the people around us. Are we saying kuti the people that are around us are painting a picture of bleakness? Kuti vari kutoita here kuti vamwe vanhu vanototi bodo izvi regai tisiyane nazvo?
Ndozviri kutoitika, Glenda. That one is a big one. I was just looking at the states, just preparing for this, and 43 to 57% divorce rate on first marriages. So I mean, we are saying, where are the role models? Where are the young people or young generations copying from? So if we are saying 43 to 57%, we are almost saying half of people who get through the proper wedding, they don't last that long. So munaruti saka ndakambounganidza vanhu takazodai, so saka ndozvaitika kuna ningi, ndozvakaitika kuna ningi, so why should I do that? So issue of role modeling to me plays a very important role. Not only that, Glenda, but we also see the other role modeling as well. We see young people who are very committed to their career, to their careers, career progression. They want to continue learning and so on. They are putting ahead issues, the material. So I say this generation is material oriented. They are looking at more important, their careers, their growth is also. Saka ndoma role models amu. Saka bamaruto not no ningi akazobudira but akafollow channel iyo hana kumanyira zokurorwa. So that is one thing that we see in society. So the other issue, Glenda, is that people are not treating a marriage, as sacred as or special as it was. That's why people are quick now to throw in the towel, move out, and so on. So with that, as you skutipa, the example that we always have wanted, kuti inge iripo. The third thing, Glenda, is there is a view that marriage is a financial transaction. pasisina dzanyaya dzemari Glenda, and mari dziri kudaidzirwa dzacho, and inyaya yemari. You see, young people vakutoona kutoti ask them maybe something that we could have done in the streets. We're going to find that vamwe vacho kuti tinoroora sei hatina mari. Saka kutoti
but inenge iripo here coach, vamwe vari kutoishaya zvesvo.
Vamwe vari kutoishaya.
Saka tochiita sei? Toramba tiri muma-relationship here because
yes, Glenda.
techidanana asi mari yacho haisi kuwanikwa.
But tiri kuto even machajiro azviri kuitwawo with the parents as well.
Aiwa, kwaihanzika vanochaja zvavanoda vana tezvara. Iyo noyaneyo inayo. Tindo yanayo somukwasha. Kana varambo, wosara nemwana wazvo.
Asi vanhu vari kutotya Glenda, sevakomana vari kutotya because vari kutya iyo financial commitment iyoyo. And then number 4 Glenda,
saka vanobva vatiregetisiyane nazvo.
vanobva vatoti no.
So alright, saka vanobva varega here kudana nevasikana vako, because what's the purpose of dating me kana usiri what's the purpose of courtship if we're not going to take the next step? Toita 14 years tichingofambidzana here. Ndopatogumisira takuita cohabit pamwe. I don't know. And where we have also seen, coach, unmarried partner households being on the rise.
Ndo imwe. So role modeling iri too. Pane inonzi positive role modeling, positive inonzi negative role modeling. So iyo yekuti the rise of consensual marriages. Consensual Glenda is takangotaurana tiri two. It's good enough. Your parents don't know, my parents don't know, there is no blessing from the parents. Tete hapana munhu anotoziva, tungori tu tanga kutogara tese, and ipo paya otozoshamisa unonzi ndiri kuuya kumba but ndiri kubva ndauya nemuzukuru, especially vanenge vari out. Muzukuru upi kwatove nemwana kutara. So tiri kuti the consensual relationships are actually on the rise, and these are centered on the two people. They just agree that this is what they want and they go for it. But that's not our definition of marriage. If our parents are not involved and there's no blessings from our parents, we still say marriage is complete. And then Glenda, you also find that some people, some are still marrying for validation. Some used to marry for validation in the past. But validation saka zviri kwese uchazoona kutoti vanzi muri Mrs. Oda kunzi Mrs. wakaroora ere ndakaroora mukadzi ndaanaye, kana uri murume. So izvozvo zvaikupawo chiremerera. But we are saying either way now you are going to find that validation, some are still doing that for validation, but some believe kuti no, consensual, saka whether uri married here kana kuti hausi, it's still the same thing. We also see Glenda that some people are actually spending more time planning for the wedding. So to me, it's material. People commit to the wedding and don't commit to marriage. Because vakatosiyana. Kukomita ku marriage Glenda ndikokuti the challenges that we are going to face, the differences that we are going to have, I'll be there through thick and thin. So we have people who vanotoda kutokoshesa muchato, angave madress. I think we have seen that on social media. Inonzi chi maroro. To me, it's a material concept.
The squad.
Yes, the squad.
Murikuramba ere tichema squad.
Hatisi kuramba, but tiri kuti ndokwamuri kuconcentrate Glenda. Asi relationship chaiyo yengunzi committing, being there, growing one another, getting to understand that we are differing, our differences, forgiveness, having resilience in the marriage. All those things are not there. People are quick now to throw in the towel. And also, there is this concept, Glenda, kuti vanhu vakufunga kuti marriage as an institution is also being used for manipulative purposes. People get married maybe to rich people. We have seen that as well. And they want to say, I'm divorcing. And, because of the laws now, you divorce and then you share a property. Wakutonzi ipaipa tikutozviona zvakatoitika futi munomu. We have seen these footballers as well. I think people, so other young people then are afraid that no, I think it's being used for manipulative purposes, so I would not commit in that particular aspect. And then we also see marriage now coming with certain expectations, and these expectations, particularly the commitment part, young people are not very keen to commit, to say I'll be there, through thick and thin. And the other issue, Glenda, is my gender roles ari kuafecta futi zvinenge zvakunzi aiwa munhu wemurume iwewe chero basa rako usina chero maybe basa rako rupa mari shoma ndiwo unofanira ku saka all these things put together we see a drift in committing in proper marriages, in healthy marriages, that are going to nurture a family that is strong, formidable, that is well balanced. The other issues, Glenda, that I want to bring to your attention is issue of pornography. So to me, pornography is also playing a very big role.
So you're saying it's substituting?
Yes. To me,
there's no need for me to get
vamwe vanhu
get married.
Yes, that type of life.
Yeah.
So internet and pornography to me is also contributing to that. And also there is no community integrity. There's what we call community integrity, Glenda, but tinoona kuti patainzwa kuti nobaba paningi, tikavatarisa, vanenge vari upright and so on. So the community, unotoona kuti no members of the community vane uprightness here, around marriage. But what we see today, Glenda, matinogara inyaya dzega apa padai so apa padzingirirwa vanhu apa pabatwa vanhu. So community integrity around issues of marriage really is very questionable.
Saka toita sei coach inini zviri kutondityisa izvi kuti unotoona kuti mainingi vabatwa nechikomba vadzingirirana vazodai kuti saka vanototi vana vechidiki kuti why get married in the first place.
You see,
zvotowanga mahombwe kaizvo.
You see kuma courts, traditional courts, Glenda, da uchimbofollowa unozwa munhu anonyatsosumuka kuti zvakaitika, and the community integrity has been lost. So young people are saying, why should I do that? And Glenda, before then I sort of answer you in that, I also want to bring that people also getting married for the wrong reasons. Issues dzekuti visa kuti ribude faster, tichienda out, maybe I need to get married, so I do that. And for convenience purposes, just for purposes of...
So you're saying if we're doing that, it ceases to be a marriage?
It's not a marriage.
Hakuna marriage yakadaro.
Hakuna marriage yakadaro. Because my reasons ekupinda marriage Glenda ndekuti ndawana a life partner, ndawana munhu andoda kukomita naye, ready to settle down. So you see, these are the other issues, Glenda. We see young people, young married couples, vanotora mwana vonosiya kwambuya, ivo vobuda votoenda kujoy vozodzoka weekend vozopfura vachitora mwana, that kind of thing. Saka tikuti havasati committed. Marriage inoda munhu anoti inini I am ready for it, I'm ready to live with another one, with another person. Especially varume tinoona munhu ari kungoda kungoita ma late nights ari egg. But no, you married someone, so there's someone at home. Why are you doing that? Because there is no commitment. So we see all these a plethora of issues, Glenda, that are militating against the original concept of marriage. And as a result, it's confusing, particularly to young people. How do they look up to us, as role models and emulate to be in these particular unions and actually grow them on a healthy basis. So we are finding that yes, the marriages are evolving. I see vanhu attach importance yanga iripo here.
Talk to us 0719100404. The conversation at hand is around what we are seeing around wanano dzako mazuvano and the attitude that the young people now have. Where is it stemming from? Coach speaks about, why some actually see it as outdated, and unpacking some of the issues here. Having seen parents or friends trapped in miserable marriages, unmarried partner households on the rise. Now, when these unmarried households create these stable families, that success challenges the conventional notion that being married is the only path to a stable family life. No nongoti we kongogarisana koti kangoita cohabit. Pana ari kubvunza pana pacoach kuti kona uye divorce chaiyo haingaite here kuti vanhu vabve vati, you know what, this is an outdated institution, because there's issue ye financial and emotional consideration here ekuti tikangopinda muwanano zvikaramba the cost yedivorce yacho ichatiremera. Mumwe anotobva panyangwe imba yaakashandira achibva asina kana chiro paya zvatorwa zvese. So I don't know, could that also come into play?
Definitely, Glenda. You see, like I was saying, that people are not attaching the importance, the sacredness, around marriages as what we saw in the past. That's why we're looking at these states. I was saying the states that I found out was 43 to 57% divorce rates, and it's alarming. And young people then look at it and say, is it really worthwhile? If I can attend to my career, grow professionally, wouldn't I have invested my time wisely? Should I get into this? But remember also, there are emotional issues also that arise, as a result of the breakups, the divorces, and so on. So they would rather protect themselves. What was we bear into books? Vanotobhera into books, masters yakuitwa 26 years munhu atoine masters, 29 years watonzwa kuti munhu atoine PhD. Vanhu vari kufocasa pamabhuku watoona kuti I think pamwe watodaro. So
ukati zviri nani nokuti we have seen vamwe vachitoti we thought kuti tiri muwanano and then zvobva zvabhenda vorambana and they lose everything that they worked for. Pamwe mudzimai anotora zvese wakudzoka pakuroja munhu akamboita imba yake you've seen it unfold right in front of your face uchiitika kune mumwe murume woti yowe kungosiyana nazo. So talk to us, share your thoughts on 0719100404. Is marriage an outdated institution? Why is it that we have seen so many young people drowning themselves in books rather than taking the next big step? Unotoona vamwe coach kwai vanogona kutodhonza makore nemakore, they delay even when one is in a committed marriage, I'm in a relationship, makore nemakore muchidanana haasi kuita the next step because they don't believe in marriage. Hanzi nemumwe panapa WhatsApp Glenda, and I think nyaya yekudzidza stereki iri kucontributa futi. Kudhara vanhu vaisanyanyodzidza madzidziro ava kuita, especially vakadzi, hanzi vaine kakunyengerera varume. Not too sure if it was a good thing, but hanzi the more a woman wants to upgrade herself, the more they feel like marriage is not important at all.
I might not agree with that, Glenda. I think both ends as well. Even varume vakutodawo kuti either varume kana vasina kufocus zvemabhuku vanotoita mabusiness avo vachitoenda. Young people nowadays, they are focusing more on issues to do with material. Yes, the empowered woman is there. Yes, no doubt. But we actually embrace that empowerment. It's coming out good because there is also a balance in terms of how you can, if you have that healthy relationship, marriage, it actually works positive, towards the upkeep of the family and everything else. And this is exactly what we want. Unfortunately, people are not then looking at it from that perspective. And we have views as well that work against that patriarch views that are also being, carried on. So yes, the truth of the matter, Glenda, is yes, the shift has been there in terms of importance, and we want to say, how then do we, can we work out something? Can we salvage it? Or we are going to see these trends continuing like this?
Somebody comes through, I think they did share these thoughts when I did post. This is a conversation that we're having now, Coach. The shortest answer is yes. Marriage is an outdated institution. Ngatingoita cohabit, ngatingochengeta naye pasina terms and condition. Not too sure your thoughts on this one, but as well, is it an easy sell to or to parents? What I want to gentleman young and I feel like society would never accept that. That's not a marriage by definition. So it ceases to be that. Mambotora na uye kuti vamwe vangoti vabereki vasingazivi tongogara vana wanano yakadaro.
So Glenda, you see, marriage ikangoitwa easy kupinda, inoitawo easy kubuda. So in I don't believe that it's let's just cohabit. Things need to be done well. Apparently, even the Bible talks about respecting. Every marriage must be respected. And kuti vanhu vazotende kuti taita zvinhu zvakanaka tounganidza hama, tounganidza society yatinogara nayo, and then toita ma-rituals kana kuti ma-rites of passage are associated in a marriage, toenda through that. It actually brings a lot of depth, a lot of sanctity, in the marriage. So cohabiting to me is not the way to go. But this is what we are seeing. Consensual, people just talk and agree. Look, those are itika is. Of course, Glenda, our challenge is kuti vana vedu vakawanda vari kuenda ku tertiary institutions anditika, so kuma universities, kuma colleges, asi tiri kuona zvakare kuti koko ndokuri kutangira zvinonzi ma-semester marriage aya ekuti vana accommodation iri kunetsa vozoti angatibananidze mari tongoshare one room. And then also paper about you have to a semester marriage and so on, and that on its own then it does not put the necessary importance, does not attach the importance that staying together, getting married, what is required in a proper marriage.
You see that. Talk to us on 0719, your thoughts on the perception or the view that marriage is outdated, and how are you seeing things unpack or unfold, Takatarisa, especially when anodzeve chidiki vari kuuya variko mazuva ano. Anzi mama G mazuva ano is women taakugona kuzvimiririra, hatichatolerate kumbunyikidzwa, saka zvaakudai. We have been empowered, coach. So zvimwe zvinhu zvaibvumiwa kana kuti zvaitenderwa kuti zviitike nevabereki vedu, izvozvo taakuti bodo. Handibatirwini, handinzwarwini.
Hongo empowerment yakauya Glenda, and it's to us is a very positive development. However, zvekudanana izvi nokuti tiroorane tigare tese as a family, as a married couple, tinokwanisa kutozvimanaja zvichitobuda zvakanaka. Inhau yekutiwo the men as well are not ready to deal with the empowered women. I think we were talking about this the other time, that men also should level up, and say, hey, we now need to teach me zvatosiyana maitiro taurira takuita, how we are arranging our things now zvatosiyana nekudhara. Hatingadi kuramba tiri ukoko, toda kuti asi wanano affectwe nezvozvo kana mukazvigona kuzvimanaja. Munongotaurirana vanhu voisa maboundaries avo zvakanaka, tichiwirirana kuti tinoita zvinhu zvedu zvakadai, so zvichitofamba mafinances edu, what we want to achieve, our children, they grow up as balanced. So that's another thing, Glenda. I've always said that marriage is the epicenter of nation building. So any nation you can think of, if you are going to create a strong nation, it starts at the point of healthy marriages. So it is important. To me, that's why I say it's an important institution that we should continue to preserve, so that there is a balance, as we will raise our children. Traits anobva kwese, the feminine and the masculine, they must have a balanced view of what life is. Where risk taking maybe is being directed maybe by the father, and the mother also, the gentler side and so on, so that that at the end of the day it will create a very strong nation, and this is what we are looking for.
Listening to you clearly online from the Eastern Highlands, and Coach Jegurora, zvakuenda kwakaenda matsamba mafoni ema-street corner ema-coins aya and ma-belly bottom. Hanzi, it's sad, but just a matter of time. Watch this space. Kuti, it's happening. We are slowly getting there. And it's only a matter of time, somebody says.
Glenda, the reason why we talk about these things here is really to bring more consciousness. Tinenge taongorora kuti ndo matrends acho ari kuitika, but tobva tangoti ayo ngatimbozvitaure tizviongorore, but also at the end of the day atidi kuita inonzi self-sabotaging as a society. Do you know that we can actually self-sabotage, destroying our capacity to build a stronger nation for the future because we are doing this? So we want to look at it. Is it really the best thing in terms of what we want to see? How is it impacting on society? So we want to discuss these things so that at the end of the day, we know we are investing in a future that is solid, and we know that the future is secured. We have a strong nation. Vanhu vedu pfungwa idzodzo vakareiswa mune zvakanaka, zvinhu zvafamba zvakanaka. Saka ndosaka tiri kuti ngatizvitaure hongu zviri kuitika, but is it the best for us?
True that. Let's take a listen to a voice note that has come through. Let's hear their thoughts.
Hello, Glenda na coach Masquera say. I personally think kuti chinhu chinonzi marriage chinhu chisingafe chakabuda mufashion kana kuexpire, because chinhu chakadesignwa naMwari kubvira pakutanga, ende chinhu ichocho chinoshanda kana vanhu vakada kuti chishande. But ndoona sekuti problem yakuitika mazuva atakurarama anaya ndeyekuti problem hombe ndeyekuti vanhu are getting married for wrong reasons. Munhu anoroorwa noti kuti ada kunyatsomisa kuti marriage yake inyatsomira zvakanaka, but anoroorerwa pressure kuti ndikuda kuitwa maroro squad, ndikuda majavha, ndikuzoda zimuchato, mukomana wangu ane mari, ihanki, anodhiraivhawo, endowo futi vakomana vavo vanenge vachitotiwo musikana akamira sei, vanhu vachiroorerana zvinhu zvisina basa, ende mamarriages iwayo haasi kuzolasta, zvinozopedzisira zvakupa vamwe kuti vaone kunge marriage isisina basa, but ikanyatsohandliwa in a good manner inonyatsoshanda zvakanaka, vanhu vachitofara varimo. Because chanyanyisa kukonzeresa kuti rate yedivorce ikwire inyaya yekuti vanhu are getting married for wrong reasons. Zvekuti pane ma-wrong reasons ayaya hapana rudo, ende kana rudo as long as rudo rwusingoripo chete haimiri imba iyoyo. Ende sekutaura kwaita coach hakusisina ma-role models ari kunyatsotungamirirawo vanhu zvekuti vanhu vanodzidzawo zvakanaka. Zvangowo zvekuti izvi zvakuita kunge zviri mufashion kuti dzimba hadzisina basa, marriage haisina basa, vanhu vangoita mazvake, but chinhu chakanaka chikaendliwa zvakanaka. Ndidzo pfungwa dzangu. It's me Matipa.
Thank you so much. Your thoughts quickly, but as well I wanted to ask, hatina here ma-role models? Hatina here vanhu tinototarisa kuti iwe mwanana iyo yagara kwemakore iyi? Is it always kana kuti
ma-role models aripo Glenda, but tiri kuti chakunyanyoonekwa manje ma-role models ku-negative side where things are not working. You said you gave a very practical example that many young people are afraid of getting into a marriage and growing your base, and you lose everything at the end of the day. Kind of marriage yaitik, kind of divorce yaparara pepe. So we are saying such they are watching these things unfold just close next door. Otoona kuti munhu uyu achagaripo, akazodai so zvakazofamba so, and look at even kumamisha Glenda, the same thing is happening. So we are saying that what we see varipo vavashoma vari marriages are healthy, are strong. So as a result, the young people are being taught varikuona the negative side. And my Matipa, she said very profound words there to say, kana ikaitwa zvakanaka marriage institution ine ma benefits, like I did say Glenda, even to the nation. even to the future generation. You are securing the future generation. They are well balanced. They've got what we call social equilibrium, and they can manage. They can be responsible, productive citizens, of the global community in the future. And this is what we are doing. Our responsibility, particularly at our age, Glenda, is to ensure that we are securing the future. Future. We should be responsible people. We should secure the future. And how do we do that? By having the children being nurtured in institutions that allow them to grow resilience and all these attributes so that they can be productive citizens. Yeah.
But as well, Coach, we can't then ignore what they see out there, friends, family.
Yes.
And say, all right, baba na mai, all right, pamwe vakagara vese asi tarisai zvaita cousin, tarisai zvaita shamwari, kuti ndichapindira muwanano yacho chi. So then it becomes an issue. I don't know, it's tricky. But anyway, somebody says, objection, Coach, how are we supposed to deal with this empowered woman that you speak of, who earns more and still refuses to contribute to bills? Hansi, hey, it's a man's responsibility, yet they refuse to submit to us. Chichakadaro. Coach, ingorovai imbwa msina kuviga mpini, madzimai aya auya hot aramba kudzorwa, bvunzai tinashe Mugabe hanzi bota yangova datora. Your thoughts quickly before we get into another message.
Glenda, what is clear about that contribution submission, ndinotaura inini kuti even achitambira mari yakawanda sei, chikuru ndechekuti mawirirana maita maboundaries enyu hazvingotangi nekungoti hasuda kucontributa, kuti tinogara pasi tototaurirana. So tiri kuti all those things are not there. So the empowered woman, yes, anoda kuti tinge tichitaurana naye, hapasisina zvezvo zvokuti tongoimpose ahen because I married and so on. Ayo totogara ona izvi ndezvedu tiri tu, saka ngatidai so anotocontributa mune zvakanaka kana zvinhu zvichitaurana. So that's the way to go. Hatingati isisu toda kuti tibvise empowerment will be there. Isisu, let's rise to the occasion. Let's ensure that we can relate well and not to the empowerment, rather than try to force it down their throat. Let's discuss, let's have boundaries, and let's agree on how we live together.
Somebody says marriage is no longer valued like it used to be. Other issues are that people are getting married for the wrong reasons. I concur, especially now with Zemari, just to name a few. Hi Glenda, hi Coach. Could Coach talk a bit on compromise in marriage? What role does it play and how important is it?
So Glenda, I talk about a tool that I call a conflict transformation tool, and it's called AACCCN, and one of the C's there is compromise. Compromise is very important. Why? Because it will not be our way all the time. There is need for us to take a back step. So when we compromise, you are settling for a lesser position than the one that you initially had put. And it's like a give and take. So both ends should actually apply and use compromise, as a strategy, just to make sure that we resolve and transform all the conflict that is actually taking place. So it's a very important aspect. Like I did say, so there is accommodate, there is avoid, there is confront, there is compromise, there is collaborate, and there is negotiate. So those are key. So compromise, whatever in nature of the marriage, if we want it to be healthy, compromise must be a proper thing that we are using, from time to time.
Somebody says kurora izvo kana kurorana dzimwe dzingori pressure dzatinge tichingopiwa kuiyo society inotipirei pressure. Ndo patinozoita get married for the wrong reasons. Nekuti ndapiwa pressure asi wanano yobva yondomuka vari kuona vati ko tichapindirei.
Glenda, pane chinhu chinonzi nesociety legitimate expectation cannot legitimate need. So society iri kuona kunaka kwe outcome ye marriage, ndosaka ichipa pressure. society no, it's a legitimate expectation. When you come to this age, you want to start your family. So how do you do it? The only way to start a family is to come together and solemnize your union, commit to it and allow it to have all the ingredients and raise children in that particular environment. So society is aware, but however, we are changing what society now has to say, because marriage, as we have agreed, there's a lot of evolution that is taking place. And now people are more concerned with the consensual marriages where we just agree. And the actions marriage. And the consensual marriage, I don't want to define what marriage. But kungonzwisana kwedu tova tatogara tese paipa pakutoitwa zvese kwakutozoenda kumba kuzoti mama ndo muroora wenyu uyu ndo muzukuru wenyu ndo zvakutoitika now.
Coach, as we let you go, unfortunately, we'll not be able to squeeze in any more messages. I see some are still recording audios. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. Coach, you're parting shots tonight, and as we wrap up.
Glenda, really, the purpose of this discussion to me was really to bring this to the attention of everyone. And I want to say that we are not setting a very good example. And let's remember, we have an obligation of ensuring that we are securing the future. And we can only do that, through institutions that are properly set, proper marriages that are healthy, that can nurture children, into responsible citizens.
Always good to have you on the show. Marriage is not an outdated institution, right, Coach?
Yes,
Absolutely.
I agree. Yes. Isusu toda kuti irambe iripo yo maintain a toita nation building yakasimba. That's what we want.
Yakaoma, Coach, because zvinhu zvamataura apa zviri kuita kuti vanhu vasaite value marriage. Zvinoda kuti zvionekwe zvitariswe. Nekuti pamwe takatitangirwe asi tinoona tinogona kukunda tikaramba tine masessions akaita zvokudai ndoona. But yeah, thank you so much. It's always great to have you on the show. How do people link up with you on socials?
Grandmaster Coach Duri across all social media platforms. Thank you so much.
Always good.
Chiera chine softwares ya munoda. Glenda Fadzai Takachicha. Right now on Capital 100.4 FM.